done with our demonstration and continue here with our road ramblings. Not sure what number I'm on now. Just ended up taking a whole bunch of phone calls that I missed during the demo. So for those of you just joining in, I am AJ Shaver with Shaver Sales. I normally don't do the whole talk and drive thing, but I got my GoPro mounted up on the dash there, and we're just driving back from out in the customer's location. Big corporate client was looking at the log loader trailer as a possibility for their crews to be utilizing. So just heading back to our shop now. But I want to continue down the road ramblings, and I guess the next topic I want to cover is the log lift bags that we have. We have pretty much tried every means under the sun for storing firewood. I grew up out in the country, always had the big log splitting party, aunts, uncles, grandparents, everybody come out, split the firewood, throw it in the back of the pickup truck, restack it underneath the back porch, and just you're handling things so many times. And then for those of you that are actually out there, you know, commercially selling it, and you have the big moldy bulk piles, or if you're some of the crazy ones that stack everything out into rows and then unstack it to throw it in the pickup truck, or restack it in the pickup truck so you know how much firewood you actually have on the truck. My heart goes out to you. I don't have that kind of time, so that's why we went on this quest and found, you know, the log lift bags that we use. Like I said, I've tried everything from bulk piles that just get moldy in the middle just because of our northeast Pennsylvania summers. You know, get a little bit of rain mixed in there with not a lot of heat, and everything would just kind of mold and mildew over. I mean, the outside a little bit would be seasoned up, but inside the pile wouldn't be. We had, you know, pallets that we kind of, you know, stack the four corners and then fill it, you know, trying to get a half a cord in there. We've, you know, made pallet racks, you know, did pressure treated lumber for gussets with fender washers and lag bolts, you know, to hold the ends up so you weren't having to do like the four corner stack. I could get 3 rows, you know, of 16-inch wood in there for a good half cord. It was nice to have a half cord quantity, but you know, it would still take 20 to 30 minutes to stop production and actually stack the pallet, and I just don't have that kind of time. So then we started down the rabbit hole of firewood bags, and eventually ended up with these log lift bags. Oh, and the only thing we never tried, because it never made sense in my brain, and I know some of you use them and love them, are those IBC totes. My problem with the IBC tote, they're really expensive around here in Northeast PA. At least the guys that I could find them, they were, you know, $35 and more. I couldn't get the loose quantity into them. I could only do like a stacked quantity, and it just, again, it comes down to production time, and I'm a one-man band, and just, I don't know, it just never really appealed to me. And plus, when they're empty, they just take up a lot of room. I'd rather just empty the bag, fold it up, put it away, and then it, you know, it takes up about as much space as a basketball. So anyway, we did a bunch of research, found these log lift bags, and there's actually 2 bags that we tried from NNZ. One is the log lift that we went with. It's got that fancy mosquito netting on the front and back sides. We use that bag because it's really showy. If you drop it off at a retail location, the customer can literally look into the bag and see what's in there, for, you know, just making sure there's no big chunks hidden, you know, down in the bottom of it. They can look into the bag top to bottom. And then if you look at, we'll call it the left and right sides, where it's the white nylon, it's woven in maybe, you know, 1-inch strands, then a vent, then woven, then a vent, and it's just kind of like candy striped the whole way across. The other bag that we use, it's called a power lift bag. You get that same woven nylon, the white side, on all 4, so it still has a built-in vent to it, but it's not the mosquito netting. It's cheaper. I think it's about $5 cheaper per bag. So it's a good option if you're just looking to, you know, cheaply fill stuff and, you know, move it around or drop it off. It's a good option. I just erred on the side of the mosquito netting just because I like the way that it looked. I think it shows well, at a retail location like a hardware store or a landscape and mulch yard, somebody that already has a forklift or has, they're used to moving stuff around and loading customer vehicles, that kind of thing, is kind of where my line of thinking goes with it. But we were recently featured on Outdoors with the Morgans. Mike bought some bags, and he filled them. That really helped get the word out about the bag. This YouTube channel, it's all we use. Once my new brute force processor comes in, we'll be using that a lot. With the disc cleaner and the radius axle stacking conveyor, we're actually reworking the bag rack, that you've seen on the channel. We're going with more of a vertical mass with 2 horizontal arms coming out. The idea is when you pick up the pallet from the bottom, that'll take the tension, from the bag hanging on the vertical arms. So I should be able to just back straight up and just have the loops come right off of those horizontal arms that are sticking out. And it's just more of a foolproof, efficient kind of thing in my brain. The current racks that we have, they work good, but occasionally when you go to pick up the bag, you have to get back out of the machine and knock the straps off of, at least one of those hooks, and it's not really efficient. And if I've got one of my kids running the toolcat with the forks on it, I just want it to be simple and easy. Otherwise, I still have to walk away from the processor. But the other added benefit to using the bags that we found out, it was about this time last year, maybe it was March, April, where we reached into the center of a bag and pulled out a piece, and we actually moisture tested it the correct way. We split that piece in half and then moisture tested the inside split. And when we did that video, it was red oak that went into the bag, completely green, and we were seeing, like high teens, very low 20s out of it. And that was through a northeast Pennsylvania winter with snow, rain, sleet, everything going into the bag, uncovered, like the absolute, worst torture test you could put on something as far as, checking for moisture content. And, for us in the late March, early April timeframe, where it's still raining, pretty good. I was happy with that because once summer came around, those were in the very, middle teens, high teens, so it was, pretty much seasoned at that point, and that was where, we kind of went all in with the bags. And I know somebody's going to comment, about the moisture content, but, for how we were running them and stuff, it worked out really, really well, and we couldn't have been happier with it. I've got a semi stopping in the middle of the road for some strange reason ahead of me. Anyway, with the bags, it's simple. I have an OCD disorder where it should be CDO, that way it's alphabetically correct. I like having, 12 bag rows set up, that way I know there's 4 cords of firewood in each row, and if there's 4 cord of firewood in each row, we get roughly, $200 a cord. So each row is, I have a value assigned to all of them going across, budget-wise and whatnot, versus just kind of, looking at a big pile going, yeah, I think there's 20 cord there. We know exactly what's there. We do put the bags on a pallet, and we do that right as we're filling them. That's the other thing, wood is a natural sponge. It wants to soak up what's around it. So if it's sitting on the ground and you get that rain that goes into the bag, you can't get all of the rainwater out of it. But if it's up on the pallet, the rainwater can run out of the bottom of the bag. The wood isn't soaking up the moisture from sitting on the ground. It's been a really good thing for us. We do probably empty more bags than we sell the firewood in the bag. Having the log loader trailers like the one that I'm towing, it makes life really easy. We'll take the skid steer and flip them upside down in the back of the trailer, and then use the log loader with some little dangle chains to hook onto the unloading straps on the bottom of that log lift bag, and just pull the empty bag right out of the back of the trailer. You don't get those unloading straps on the power lift bag. That's the other one of the differences. But because of how we're set up, the bags make a lot of sense because of the log loader trailer. If you don't have that, they're not as easy to flip upside down, but for how we do it, I love them. But yeah, the bags have been good. Had a train of thought and it completely left the station, and I can't remember where I was going to go next with the point. But yeah, like I said, we're working on version 2.0 of the bag rack, waiting to get some video of that up. I got a fabricator guy that's going to be working on them soon, so stay tuned for that. But I think that's enough rambling here about Firewood bags for a little bit. So don't forget to hit the like or subscribe on the channel. The log lift bags do run $17.50 in small quantities. We've been doing a sample order of 12 shipped to your door, and a little credit card fee kind of figured in for right about 261 bucks. And I think the power lift bags, the cheaper version, are basically $5 less per bag, and we can get those out to you as well. If you do decide to do a pallet order, the log lift bag does drop to $16 a bag, and it is a $4,000 spend for those of you doing the math. There's 250 bags in a pallet, but I do cover shipping on that pallet. It does ship to your door for free, so kind of keep that in the back of your head too. But I am AJ Shaver with Shaver Sales. Give me a phone call. It's 833-SPLITTER. That's 833-775-4887. And you can also email me. It's sales@shaverequipment.com. And happy to help, happy to chat, and fix you up with some bags. Thanks for watching. See you next time.